No seu contato e procura o número dela pra ligar pra ela, hoje deu uma vontade.
Ai, que vontade, vontade.
Welcome back. I'm Trey Herrera. Welcome back to the channel, guys. You guys seen the intro. You guys know what it is. We're breaking down the BMW. You guys ask me all the time on my Instagram, what is the build? So this video is more for the people who didn't follow the whole build process. So I'm just gonna break it down for you. First things first. You see this bad boy behind me? This is my LS swapped E36. And I'm gonna break it down for you because I get a lot of questions in my inbox on Instagram about this car and pretty much the process of building it and what I did. Okay, before we break it down, you guys wanna know this is a 95 325i. It's an E36 sedan and I got it not running to start. So I had this car about a year now. It's coming up on roughly a year. Pretty much we got it as a non-running car. It had the original M50 motor in it, completely factory, completely stock, and now it is completely different. All right, now the idea of this car was to have a drift car. So we got this car for super cheap, like 250 bucks, because it was not running. The guy didn't know anything about it. Had the original M50 motor with the 5-speed. It was completely stock. We got it home, got it running. I drove it daily for a good while, but you guys don't care about that. Pretty much I ripped out all the M50 motor, the transmission. My buddy Ryan came and bought it for me for his E30 build, and my dad hooked it up with a 5.3 that we had here. What I ended up doing was rebuilding the 5.3. So this is a 5.3 in here. I pretty much refreshed the engine and slapped it in here. Very basic build. It was more of a refresh. So I refreshed the bottom end. I put new head gaskets on it. I honed the cylinders. Let's see, I put an F-body oil pan with the F-body pickup tube and new O-ring, new oil pump, and it has a Howard's ASA cam in it. LS6 springs on the head, so it's stock head, 862s. We got the truck intake manifold, and I shaved it down, painted it, and I put my own stickers on it. That is pretty much it. It's a low lift cam, so it doesn't require big springs in it. So it has LS6 springs, and it doesn't require hardened push rods because of the low lift. You're not having a whole lot of strain on the valve train. Like I said, when I first started building this car, this was a very budget build. The original build out cost was right at $3,000, give or take. A little bit under $3,000 with me selling the old engine and drivetrain, but $3,000. I did forward-facing turbo headers, and then I fabbed up the exhaust. Originally, I had a different exhaust on here, and if you guys have been following for a while, you guys would already know that I switched over to a single exhaust now, and it sounds 1,000 times better. As for motor mounts, I use a CX Racing motor mount. Mounted the car up real good. We'll be getting all the Chase Base stuff on here, and we'll be cleaning up the engine bay quite a bit more than what it is. Everything else, other than the bell housing adapter, I fabbed up myself. I got forward-facing turbo headers, and then I had to refab them to make the exhaust work, because with the Z32 transmission, the long tubes weren't gonna work on it, at least the CX Racing ones, or they would work if I were to make my own custom long tube header. Maybe something in the future, but I still want boost in this car, so we'll see where that goes. This car has a Z32 transmission. It's a 5-speed transmission out of a 300ZX. I use the G-Force bell housing adapter to get the transmission to bolt up to the LS. This also comes with a flywheel. I'll put all of this in the description so you guys could go through the parts list and figure out if this is something you want to do. I personally made the Crossmember for the transmission, and then I had a shop here in Colorado do the Driveshaft for me. The Driveshaft is rated at 700 horsepower, so if I do decide to go a lot of boost, it can handle it. It does have the stock 325i differential and axles, but what I did do is I went completely new rear subframe bushings and differential bushings, and that is from Condor Speed. I just did a video on this maybe a couple weeks back, and then I also reinforced it with their reinforcement plates. So the whole rear end had been pretty much reinforced, welded, and put back together. I've been sliding it on a regular basis for the last couple weeks, so I've slid it so much that I need new tires already. All 4 tires are roasted. So next on the agenda was I did coilovers. Coilovers are just Megan Racing coilovers. They are a cheapie, but they're 8K spring rate on all 4 corners and a decent dampener. It's just to get me by for now. I do want to upgrade to some BCs on some Swift springs, and I want to do possibly like a 15 to 18K rear and like a 12 to 13K front to really get some crazy slides. I also want to upgrade the sway bars, but this is all in the future. We're also going to do wheels. Now for my gauges, what I do for gauges is I monitor it through my phone, through the Dash Command app, and I also monitor oil pressure and everything through that, through my phone. And this will also give me the battery output and a bunch of other stuff. I could actually read my O2s and literally data log the whole car through my phone while I'm in the car. So this was a great thing for me, so I didn't really have to spend money on the gauges. Now, as you guys know, this car is a build in progress. So obviously this is not the final state of the car. The car needs wheels, as I've stated before, and I am gonna go aggressive wheel, either a 17x9 or 18x9 with a plus 20 or plus 15, something like that. I really want to get the wheels to poke out past the fenders, and I'm gonna do fender flares and make it look a little wild. I did add the M3 front bumper. I got that one on eBay for like 110 bucks, which is awesome. We're on factory fueling, I forgot. We're on factory GTO fueling. So as you guys know, if you follow the channel, I have a 05 GTO that has a LSA supercharger on it. With that LSA supercharger, I no longer need the factory fuel setup. So that was perfect for this car. So what I did was I took the factory GTO fuel pump and I put it into the BMW, and then with tuning and everything, it's more than enough. It's more than sufficient for this engine. I'm assuming this setup with how it is, and I'm leaving a bit of horsepower on the table with how the exhaust is set up, and I know this, but I'm assuming with this setup, I'm right around anywhere from 300 to 320 horsepower. I don't know. It hasn't been dynoed or anything, but it feels somewhere in that range. We'll probably end up throwing boost at it, but not for a little while. Now we will be doing a bunch of cosmetics to this car because this is the cheaper of the two. So like I stated in a bunch of videos, that I've been working on this car a lot more because it is the cheaper of the two. It's easier to find stuff for this car versus the GTO, and you know, I could get a whole lot more done with a lot less money on the BMW. So with that being said, there's a bunch still to come up on the BMW. I'm gonna be doing lights, making it look real nice. It's not gonna be your typical get trash drift build. It's gonna be a decent driver in general, and then hopefully that, you know, you guys will be really excited about it. But this car has been gutted. I had gutted it. It was originally full interior. I cleaned it up quite a bit so you guys could see. It originally was full interior, but I got rid of all of this. I made a little battery tie down. I made some extra grounding points for the battery, specifically for this motor, because they're known to have some interference with the harness, so you need a lot more grounds than a standard engine. Let's see, we use all truck accessories, and yes, the factory E36 radiator works. Factory radiator works. It's not going to work for long, but it works. When drifting, you're definitely going to want to upgrade this if you're going to drift this car. If you're going to do this on a drag car, definitely get a bigger radiator. Anyway, yeah, you guys get the point. One thing I forgot to mention is the clutch. It is a Stage 4 300ZX twin turbo clutch. I also got a new clutch fork for it from Z1 Motorsports, along with the throwout bearing and the clutch ball, which I actually dislike. I think the factory ball works a little better. All the lines are braided lines for my clutch and for my power steering. The $3,000 was mainly to get engine, transmission, drive shaft, and the car running. This does not include any of the suspension work that was done, any of the reinforcements on the rear end that was done. It's real basic setup for now. It'll probably get way more elaborate in the future. I would like to cage it eventually. If this goes boosted, I definitely want to throw a cage in here to make it really safe. I want to do a different steering wheel, different seats, and full harnesses. I would like the car to be as safe as possible and easily rebuildable if I crash it. So right now it's a pretty chill street car and learner drift car, but in the future it'll definitely be a monster. So stay with me on the build here. This thing will be getting crazy. GTO is going to be crazy. I can't wait to show you guys next month what's going on with that thing, but you got to keep that under wraps until next month.